Supermassive drop onto Baron. This was supposed to be G2's play, and there's only 4,000 health left.
It's not going to live long enough. Teleport comes out from Kikis. The Baron is golden! Hybrid has bought some time, but it won't be anything more than that, as it's secured by Supermassive. This is a big turning point. Lurks is chunked out and killed. Naru's taking him out. Hybrid pulled backwards by Tempest. Whoa! There's a reply back onto Naru, and Kikis is in the front line. Emperor, watch his hit points. He's looking for double dodge. It's Trick that gets the kill credit, and they turn the fight around. After securing Baron, Supermassive are collapsing around themselves. 3 members down for just Perks.
So good job to collapse and kill Perks, but the ultimate out of Emperor there just absolutely decimated the rest of the team. I mean, sending Hybrid in, able to get the bar cut afterwards, and Kickers looking for a chew.
He's feeling the support, the rest of G2 coming in. Upchu's low on mana, got no flash. Trick should be able to take him down. One more hit will do it, and then they turn their attention to Thaldrun. Hybrid's even able to run away with his life. Emperor's just gonna try and kill Thaldrun, and all Thaldrun's doing is buying time. There's a teleport coming in from Naru. Thaldrun decides to re-engage, gets the shutdown. It's not done yet. Gold card, wild card, parallel convergence, double kill for Thaldrun and Supermassive.
Yeah, now they can look to push up mid lane. Thaldrun's still going with it. They're looking for Kikis. I think they need to go towards mid lane. Kikis.
Oh my word, we're not done fighting. Perks is trying to challenge Thaldrun. Defensive flash! The soldiers won't get it. Thaldrun, he took the fight and backed away.
He's certainly getting Kikis, looking to see if he can escape. Wildcard won't hit him, so he will get out for now. And this is Supermassive riding their lead to the very edge and narrowly escaping. Sure, they got Baron, but they don't get any advantage for it. It's only on one member now, but it is a twisted fate with ultimate, so they'll at least be able to... it's actually Thaldrun. He has teleport, so similar thing. They will be able to apply it to one side lane. Dragon number 4.
At 25.5 minutes. Right, timer is on for G2. They have to fight a pick composition with a 2k gold lead. With Baron, teleports. Just for another minute now. Shortly. Now this is going to be risky, because G2, when they've been grouped, have looked good, but they've been unable to be grouped at the right time.
And really, they should look good when they're grouped. I mean, they have the Azir, they have Kalista as well. Like, this is a team that is built around team fighting and should be able to secure that. Supermassive have no business even trading equally in team fights right now. I mean, Twisted Fate, as the game progresses, will get better. He's going to pick up a Zhonya's, he's going to get multiple reels. I mean, Kindred is a good team fighter.
There you go.
There you go, Zhonya's picked up, so sure, maybe now they can go toe-to-toe, but the control should still be in G2's favor.
And you have to remind, like, what does that say this game? This is the last game of the first half of the round robin. So everybody will have played 5 matches, and if G2 drop this, go 0-5, it will put the next 2 teams tied for 4th as SKT and Supermassive at 2 wins, 3 losses. And that makes it nearly impossible for G2. They would have to really win absolute everything out and have some luck on their side to make top 4. Alternatively, G2 pick up a win. It means that contest for maybe 3rd, 4th will be so much tighter, so much closer here at MSI.
Yeah, and you can see that G2 really have buckled down in this game. It doesn't look easy or clean, but you can see that they are putting in the work to slow the pace and not let the game snowball. Kickers is performing much better. And it's just... It honestly is almost painful to see how carefully they have to play when they were so decisive in their victories.
Black shield for Dumbledore will buy some time and flash forward. No, it wasn't a flash from Hybrid, he just moves forward. Tempered face after the black shield times, and all of a sudden, Supermassive are the ones out of position. 5v4, and the ADC for Supermassive is left in the base for 40 seconds. Soldier's got TP and he's pushing down bottom. G2, they're grouping up because Naru, he's pushing top. We've got a base race on our hands. Double Doge is in trouble. He's killed by G2 Esports.
And Kickers is going to be able to respond as now Stomage is in trouble.
He's in trouble indeed. There's a lot of spears stuck in him. Emperor is going to get the kill. But look at this. Inhibitor up top is down. Kickers is forced to respond in the bottom lane. He's got teleport available, but it looks like it should be a trade. 35 seconds before Stomage, 10 seconds for a Chew. G2, they're going to open up mid in here.
Yeah, they certainly are. Sidewave versus mid inhibitor really is a big debate. But the fact that they were able to push down turrets and get all of the additional... Oh, they didn't get it!
They didn't get it! That is so game-changing. Finally closed out. Emperor's gone low. The rest of Supermassive are trying to respond. There's a team fight breaking out. Everyone takes a magical journey to safety, and Kikis and Thaldra, they were trading. Emperor's still alive. Naru has his teleport rather. Where are the wards? G2 have walked over one, and they may be able to get out clean.
Yeah, so they will finally get out clean, but they cost themselves seconds where now, all of a sudden, Supermassive will be able to reassert some pressure in the mid lane, push this super creep wave out, and there is a huge wave on the top side of the map that G2 Esports must deal with immediately. Get the vision around Baron, get the vision around Dragon. This game's still very close.
It's gone absolutely crazy. Super's in 2 lanes. We get closer to 30 minutes. The CS differences, down 40 for Kikis, but he's farming champions. Perks has done a much better job CS and plus 45, but the matchup favors him. And all of that kind of goes out the window when you see they're even on towers. Dragon will be up in around 3 or so minutes, Spawn. Baron's up in 1. And Supermassive are on the cusp of aspect of the Dragon. One thing that plays in G2's favor, Super's down middle, may help them in setting up around that Dragon.
Yeah, so the argument is that Supers in mid lane give you all that vision that you need to see when they are entering into the fog of war. However, top lane is much more annoying to deal with because you have to leave your team, opening you up for one of those picks. And because they have double teleport, Thaldra can go up there. Now, wow.
Oh, good damage onto Trick.
Naru can follow, and then they can still both teleport back to mid lane if they have to stop the push.
Look at the timers on the neutral objectives. 40 seconds to Baron, 1 minute 30 to Dragon. This game is balancing on a knife edge. And whoever picks up either of those objectives is going to give themselves a very big advantage going into the next 5 to 10 minutes of gameplay. Kikis, despite having the TP, he's actually trying to deal with Thaldra.
Yeah, Thaldra really needs...
Naru.
Naru really needs that void stuff if he's going to be able to go toe-to-toe with that. But you can see, this is the setup. Supermassive want to be pushing out mid lane, regardless whether their super minions there or not. Trick, on the other hand, I guarantee does not want to be answering them in the top lane. That's where Kikis needs to be, because 50 seconds on Dragon 5, vision is generally there early.
And the target is Perks. He's got Cleanse, Divide, the Flash as well. True Shot Barrage almost takes Perks down, and there's no Hourglass to speak of. Kikis is already teleported in. Fate's Call, Splash, Gold Card, all of it negated. So Major's in trouble. Caught by the Tempered Fate. It will buy some time with Lamb's Respite, but he should go down. Kill easily picked up there by G2. 50 seconds on the clock. Baron is live, and it's 30 to Dragon. What is the focus for G2?
Aggressive play there to try and get onto Perks, but G2 still need to go clean out their base. Supers are there. They can't really get anything off it. It will just be a hard reset of the map, and maybe try and secure vision around one of those major objectives.
Inhibitor will be spawning relatively soon, and the focus for G2 will be Dragon. Want to deny additional stats, the double Dragon bonuses, but Supermassive are somewhat grouped up. Naru's in trouble. He's got Hourglass to buy some time. Black Shield will keep him alive a few seconds longer. Wildcards does a lot of work onto G2, and a 3-man stun, I believe, coming out from Thaldra. Trick is going low. Kikis shoots out the hammer to keep himself alive, and those back in. He's in trouble. Thaldra's looking for more. Look at all of those spears. A good stun from Kikis will find a kill as Emperor Perks is able to find his way back into the fight. So, when all said and done, traded 1 for 1, and it looks like G2 should be able to secure this Dragon.
Yeah, it certainly looks to be the case. Kikis back in base. Wow, Naru's teleporting.
There's a TP up top. Kikis is there, though. Would have to cancel at the moment Kikis shows.
Yeah, so good news is Naru still has a global, but that 5th Dragon Snowball has finally been stopped by
For 6 minutes.
Esports for 6 minutes, and this team fighting comp can continue to scale up. We've already seen Emperor, as the game goes on, getting more and more effective. They want to do the Baron.
There is a Tempered Fate available for Hybrid. It didn't help the last time, but it may be more useful this time because there's no primary tank for Supermassive with Thaldra still there.
Yeah, and that is absolutely huge, so they will back away. TF ulti just used to see where they are currently on the map. Don't want to get picked off, especially with Dumbledore so low.
So that means no global for Naru, no global for Thaldra. That'll buy some time for G2.
Yeah, it certainly will, and that's huge, honestly. G2 right now looks like they are much more on the same page. Arriving at team fight very well together, has been able to take the last couple. And as I said, against the likes of the Kindred, Emperor just will be able to come up massive. He can sit inside that Lamb's Respite and just hold all of the spears until he needs to make them go pop. And finally, G2 have control over the Baron area.
Yeah, and the bottom lane. There's a gigantic minion wave in favor of G2 pushing towards Supermassive. If you step back and look at this game, both teams putting on a good performance in terms of their team composition. G2 for the first time showing a better understanding of their opponent's team comp and ability timings.
What a clever magical journey. They have their Scuttle Crab, but Hybrid takes his team in the side, so now they have to face check, and it looks like they're going to be able to secure it.
They may be able to. There's going to be a lot of spears to rain for Emperor, and Jeet's support. Supermassive will be there too late. Yes, you'd be that Trico catching me for a loop. Double Doge is in trouble with Baron secured. Luckily, there's no follow-up team fights.
That was genius from Hybrid. Honestly, taking his team through the side, able to secure that pretty much without contest. And as you said, that massive super wave, that massive creep wave that was set up early, now it's doing me as well, was just able to create that pressure in the bottom side of the map to secure it.
I think it counts as a super wave. It was huge. It was big. But it didn't amount to anything. GA picked up for Thaldrin. Kikis has had his for a little while. QSS for Trick as well. I think it's very important against the single target CC. Finding a gold card. Oh, even a parallel to Burgess to be fair. Although that is a target, but regardless of that fact, G2 now setting up for the siege. There's no tower, and Kikis is teleport available, so he's pushing up the top lane as well.
Yeah, it looks like they will be able to defend for now. Thaldrin trying to answer pressure, but shortening the wave is so huge for Perks.
It's important to see what Supermassive decide to do. Naru attempted to TP up to that top lane, the least secured inhibitor as it were. And with Thaldrin on the bottom lane, are they going to be brave? Are they going to try a big play? Thaldrin is going to open up the bottom lane inhibitor. Kikis is going to open up the top lane. G2 on the verge of securing 2 inhibitors. Perks slides forward, uses some of his cooldowns. Inhibitor number 1 falls. Tempered Fate flies out, and that will buy time for G2 to take their second inhibitor. Unchallenged.
Thaldrin, you need to come back.
They're not done. Thaldrin's got to teleport available. He's TPing to a Nexus turret. Archu's trying to put damage out, and Kikis shoots out the Verdict. There's damage on the back line, but his double doge is down. He's not going to be killed. Not going to be able to affect the rest of the game. Somage trying to put damage on the back line and buy time for Supermassive. But this is going to be scary. 5 versus 4. Kikis still has a GA, even if he gets killed. And Stomage is able to kill Hybrid. That's a 1-for-1 in terms of support. They've got the GA from Kikis. They got to do it again. There's still a tower standing, and G2 unable to make this push work.
Yeah, and they still have double teleport, and all of a sudden, Naru is going for the inhibitor.
He is indeed. Kikis can respond if he wants to. Kikis decides to re-engage. Lands the spy will buy time. Kikis buffs up the minions, flashes away.
Oh,
and
died.
The minions, they do it for G2. Mystic Shot will slow down Kikis as Naru is in trouble. Here comes Emperor, zooming forward, able to pick up the kill with the help of Perks. But G2 lose Kikis in the process.
And all of a sudden, Shu is able to also pick up Kikis, so this is on a knife's edge. Can they defend? I mean, Stomage is still 30 seconds away. It's going to be a 4v5. Super's in 2 lanes. We're just going to try and walk this one down the middle lane and pick up the win.
G2 got to be very, very careful. Get caught out. There is still damage from Thaldrin and Shu to finish it up, and they've got to get through that GA. Shu, it is not on cooldown, so 3.5 members of Supermassive. Although Stomage will be up in 5 seconds, so G2, they're not going to the Nexus yet.
And they're going to get another crack at that Dragon, because that's 40 seconds away, and G2 Esports are backing off. They do not want anything to do with this. This game, 40 minutes in, death time is so punishing. And when you're playing, again, pretty much a 6-item twist of fate, it makes pretty short work of those turrets, I think it's fair to say. They just need to play this one out slowly and carefully.
Slowly and carefully. 15 kills to 18 kills. 8 towers to 1. And the gold drop tells such a big story of how it's been stopped. It's Hybrid taking on Dumbledore, but Hybrid is forced to dash away. Magical Jenny through the wall. But Supermassive are in range. Doggles got no CP, and he's recalling in the mid lane. Got to deal with those supers in the top.
Yeah, I think they just have to get this one up. Maybe throw some wild cards at it so you can get a steal, but there is no way you can fight right now, Supermassive. We already mentioned G2's comp is just superior in that area.
Rend and Smite should make this one safe. Should. But I've seen so many steals this weekend already. The Dragon is picked up by G2. They secure it safely. Stomate is going to jump away.
Double Doge.
Double Doge is out, but who else will follow it through? Very good Sand Soldiers from Perks, but no additional follow-up. Trick is down to 1,000 hit points, and Double Doge is in trouble. Hybrid jumps forward. Summoning Heal comes out. It's Kickers that gets a kill secure. Stomate is caught amongst a plethora of G2 members, and the Emperor's Divide sends Supermassive into G2's waiting hands. The hammer knocks Soldier into the air, and that will be an ace for G2 Esports. And they've burned through the GA. They've got to kill him for the ace eventually.
Finally, G2 are able to piecemeal together a victory. It looks like Quickshot. They'll teleport into the base and be able to take it down. Supermassive, unfortunately, not able to pick up their second, but that was very close.
G2 Esports had to dig real deep to take down Turkey's Supermassive. But that will give G2 their first win of the mid-season invitational.
And Kick is much improved. Trick and Perks back to their old style of gameplay. I mean, at times it was still sloppy. I think that face right there from Perks tells it all. But in the end, results are what matters, and they get there first.
Tough loss for Supermassive because it really could have gone either way. And another game where Supermassive honestly looked very good.
I mean, it took 40 minutes. There was 2 inhibitors on both teams.
Yeah.
They were able to secure a Baron for themselves. Soldier on your screen was pretty disappointed. They knew that they could be equal with SKT for that 4th place. But credit to G2, every time Naru tried to ask the question, every time Soldier tried to ask the question, this time around they had the correct answer.
We've seen a number of games, a number of sloppy games, you know, and mistakes here and there and missed positions.
We're in China.
Embracing the chaos, and it is exciting to watch. This is one of the games that I remember earlier in the weekend. Preppo was saying that it's so punishing to lose because of how many times you could have won.
Oh, completely, especially when you're the one with the double teleport, you're the one with the twisted fate. I mean, when the map opens up like that, and you are Supermassive and you have 4 dragons, you should be able to bait this objective and trade it for something more important on the map. But they just weren't able to do it because, you know, credit to G2, they were able to get the jump on them time and time again.
Stone Cold killer face there from Kickers. At the end of the game, 7, 2, and 10. Sniping a lot of people with the hammer, but more importantly, better positioning with the team, better decision making. And I think for G2, you know, right at the beginning of the game, I said yesterday was their least bad performance. This is another step in the right direction. They respected the TPs. It appeared as though they were tracking the timers and playing the map a lot more effectively.
And finally, a team didn't say, we're going to team fight you, G2, we're going to play a macro game, and G2 said, thank goodness we're back in Europe, because we actually know the correct answers to this. We know how to take Rift Herald off the map early and use it for deep pushes. We don't care about your dragon stacking, because late game we have the Azir and all of the answers.
And that is exactly what G2 did to win. Let's find out if the analyst desk agrees as they talk about G2's first win of the tournament.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. G2 finding their first win of the tournament. However,
no dress for you.
That's right.
You're a little bit relieved.
Yeah, you escaped that that fate, but it did not come easy for G2 here. So let's kind of jump into it because not pretty by any means.
No, and we didn't expect it to be pretty or easy or anything. Honestly, I felt this was a 50-50 between these 2 teams. I think Supermassive, honestly, can be a bit disappointed, because they're now facing a team like G2 who's looking, you know, honestly like a bad team. So them not being able to tie SKT for 4th place is really, really bad for them, obviously. But it's important for G2 to pick up a win, some confidence. No one was smiling, though, after the game. It's just kind of like, we had to win this game, sure. But there's still so many more games to come now, and there's so many problems still.
So let's dive into it a little bit. Picks and bans up on your screen right now. I mean, Spawn mentioned it. Supermassive opting to go for that kind of 1-3-1 double teleport with the global pressure of the TF, but playing the lane swap out.
And I like their idea, you know, going for this global comp versus a team that has shown communication issues. You know, G2, the biggest criticism, they weren't working as a team, they weren't communicating things, and they were over-chasing. So, something that will punish them as a TF company.
Yeah, it's a great composition against G2 right now. And it honestly looked good if we look at a separate part of the game, but if you look at the entire game, especially, you know, some of the late game decisions, there were some random teleports, there was some random engages from Naru as well, which often ended up being like 1-for-1. Instead of actually relaxing a little bit and realizing they had so much global pressure, they just kind of upped into the chaos.
It really was a good comp just because that G2 is so punishable. They chase so many things down, like Hiki's going into the bot lane a little bit. And then when they set up a dragon fight, they had that in their hands. They had the better team fight composition, and they went for a chase against a double global TP comp, and they got 4-for-1. Right. And that's where like the Turkish team got most of the in that game.
Yeah, and it played out correctly. Could have ended after that Baron take for the Turkish team. Now, granted, G2 did pick it back up. So now I want to talk about how they got themselves back into it. I mean, they did have, luckily, enough scaling in the Azir field to put out the damage late game and double life steal from Kalista coming in very handy with securing as well Baron and Dragon, so there were no potential for steals.
Yeah, they kind of realized that when Dragon was alive, you didn't have to like try and create a pick first. If you are G2, you can actually just walk to the Dragon, and then you are grouped together, and you want that 5-on-5 team fight where Supermassive has much engage on you. So they managed to kind of figure it out during the game. They slowed down at least. It seemed like suddenly they actually realized we can win this game. We thought at player camp, the players were talking much more to each other. It still was a messy affair, but at least there was some communication going on. Supermassive though, I actually feel like, as we said before, they kind of wasted too many global cooldowns, which allowed G2 to then start grouping up.
They also had some mechanical misplays. Shamag on the Kindred a couple of times walking out of his own ultimate, and it actually costing him his life in some crucial moments.
Yeah, very, very much so. And at the end of the day, I feel like if there's another criticism to throw at Supermassive, that as G2 slowed down and started to communicate more, Supermassive felt the need to speed up.
Right.
And that's where we did see some of those kind of reaching plays. Like, oh, let's get the pick 30 seconds before the dragon is up, our fifth dragon is up, as opposed to just finding the way to set up around that dragon and securing the dragon for themselves.
I think their comp actually does well with picks.
Right.
It's just that they had these slim opportunities and they didn't work out that well. I think Kiki's actually showed up today. He played a much better game than like yesterday. He was matching the TF all the time, and that really slowed down a lot of the pushes.
All right, well, there you have it. G2 will be happy to have picked up the win, but they still need plenty more if they're going to move on to the bracket stages. Now we're going to send it over to Shock for a word. Man,
thank you very much, Dash. Indeed, joined here by Perks after a victory at MSI, but as you guys can also imagine, not overjoyed, even though you did get the victory. Perks, there's a lot of information out there about the team, also a lot of speculation and a statement that you guys put out. I don't want to focus on that, but I want to focus on you as a player and how I know you as a player from the European LCS. First, a reaction to winning, at least this first game, and how this might be a first step in winning a bit more here at MSI.
So this first game was really needed for us because we were in a slump and we are 0-4, so basically bad for us. But we can still come back from it, and the game was not so good still, but at least we won, you know. So we got a bit of a confidence boost going into next games, and you know we can win, you know. For me as a player, I'm personally really disappointed right now with this tournament, but I think as time goes on, I think we can still come back and make it at least top 4 and then maybe even finals.
Oh,
but
wow.
I'm confident that we can do it.
Yeah, I mean, this is what I was trying to get at. You in the European LCS, you guys, of course, were the winners of the spring split. You have always been a very confident player, so in my mind, you would be one of the people that would take losing here in the international stage the hardest, because you just beat Naru, but you're Perks. You want to beat Faker. You want to beat Xiaohu. How have you been dealing with kind of maybe not being able to show, or do you think that maybe you're just not ready for the big stage yet?
I actually think that I don't think that I played as bad any games. I just think that we got outclassed by every other team so far, except Supermassive, so I couldn't really do anything in the games. Maybe the games versus RNG I could have done more, but they had so good team comp and we just got outscaled.
Yeah, however, in this game you said it was still hard. Did you feel anything of a click within the team? Because it seemed like the calls were clearer, the team fights started to go better for you guys. Hybrid had a great game as well. Did you feel a click that makes you think, you said you dropped top 4, which is very dangerous of course, but that it would go better from now on?
Well, I can't say for sure, but if we beat RNG today, I think we will be top 4.
Tell me a little bit more about that match. That was actually yesterday the closest game you had so far was the one versus RNG, but they do look undefeated and they are undefeated, so why is it that you think that you can take them down?
I think yesterday the problem was dropped. They had so much better team comp, and then we just lost. But today, if we draft good and we outdraft them, I think we can take them down. Like they're a really good team, but as you can see, this whole tournament is a bit of a mess. Like everyone is winning versus everyone, and it's fun fiesta, yeah.
Are you a bit surprised by the fact that it is that aggressive? However, if you look at RNG, they just know how to play team fights to a T, and that is very good gameplay in itself. Or do you disagree?
Yeah, they're really strong mechanically. I think that's really good, and also that's so good support Mata. He's like carrying them up alone, I would say. But I'm a bit surprised that SKT got swamped by RNG. Basically, I mean, it was like 60 minutes game because SKT is a really good team, but then today they lost it really too. So I think SKT in front too, which makes it a bit more interesting. Because I would expect SKT to stomp everyone.
Doesn't that make it maybe a little more bittersweet for you guys? Like, if you were at the top of your game, you were saying 2 weeks ago, and you see how open this tournament is, it feels kind of like a lost chance.
Maybe, yeah, but not until now.
Yeah. Well, in the end, you said it as well. You think that things are starting to start better. Do you also have a feeling it's kind of like, for the fans, we need to win these next couple of games as well as for yourself?
Yeah, for me personally, I'm really sad that we go 0-4 because fans support me a lot, and if I do bad, then it means that I don't deserve their support or something. So I really want to win.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. Thank you so much for talking to me here. G2 pulling out a win at MSI. Their next game coming up will be the World Champions. They are now 0-3 over their last 3 games. SKT. They will be going up against the Flash Wolves in that rematch from yesterday. The pressure is on Faker and the World Champions to make it happen here. We will be right back. Don't go anywhere.
This is the best wildcard team we have ever seen, really living up to their name and showing that they can take anyone out yesterday. And they're looking to do it again.
Here comes the race to G2. That was a great cosmic binding. A reply back from G2. Emperor's Divide won't knock anyone away, but it won't be needed. Chrono Break to keep Dalton alive. Buy some hit points. He should get taken down, and he will by the collateral damage. It's Kickus against the kill secure. So major squad amongst a plethora of G2 members. And the Emperor's Divide sends Supermassive into G2's waiting hands. G2 Esports had to dig real deep to take down Turkey's Supermassive.
Hello everybody, welcome back to MSI 2016 here in Shanghai, China. I'm Devin Pyrotechnics Young, sharing the desk for the last 3 games of the day with Joshua Jalliesman. How's it going, man?
It's going really well. We've had such an insane tournament right now. Everything does feel like it's upside down.
Absolutely.
And now we get to start the second half of the round robin where normally things start to actually equalize back to expectations, but it's been so weird, I don't even know if that's possible.
There's not a whole lot of normal stuff. I mean, maybe the closest we come is the game we just had, but even that is kind of up in the air at this point. Everyone's showing up. Wildcard team doing incredibly well against G2 Esports there, and I'm really looking forward to see how the Flash Wolves take out of the rip.
Yeah, I can't wait for this next game, right? SKT losing 3 games in a row in the group stage. Flash Wolves also being tied for second place in the tournament right here. Factoring head-to-head, it would actually be third place, but it's been absolutely nuts.
Yeah, so this is the rematches, as you mentioned. This is actually the start of the rematches going back to yesterday's match against SKT. Flash Wolves taking that victory, and the 3 matches in a row that SKT have actually lost. That hasn't happened, by the way, for about a year and a half. Not since you have to go back to 2014 Worlds qualifiers, which they didn't make. Yeah, that's 193 competitive games. It's nuts.
Yeah, 615 days since that was possible. And they play most of their games in the most competitive region in the world in Korea. So here at MSI, it goes to show you the level of competition that is here. And also you have to wonder whether or not SKT is a little bit tilted. And I hate to use that word because it's Faker we're talking about here, but we have to look at what happened to him yesterday, where he brought armor penetration on his ear 2 games in a row. And then we look today where he didn't skill Ultimate on LeBlanc level 6, but instead skilled Chains. And he's lost both sides of the Azir LeBlanc matchup right now. Obviously, jungle has a huge sway in those matchups, but these are things that you would not think possible with Faker, but they've all happened in the last 2 days.
That's absolutely true, but on the other side of the rip, you have to look at Flash Wolves. They opened today with a loss against RNG, really just outdrafted.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. They picked the Zed, and it was into a host of counters, and were unable to snowball the game incredibly quickly. And one thing that also is happening this tournament is the middle lane has been a very high priority for teams, but has often been outscaled by the Kindred of the Graves come team fighting, because it's really just been all about team fights. The macro play we expected coming into here hasn't actually played out to many victories, and it's been about getting your mid laner huge and winning team fights.
Yeah, the Italy really seems like it's been more of a trap. Yes, it has been played well by a lot of the junglers, but not all of them, especially not on the SKT side. Blank has been having a whole host of trouble, but the jungle matchup isn't as interesting as this mid lane matchup. You got to think Maple has looked so incredible. He's going to have the chance to get the repeat matchup versus Faker.
Yeah, he's going to have to continue on what he did yesterday, where he was able to beat Faker in CS and slowly starve them out in the game. As far as the games that SKT has lost, the one they lost to the Flash Wolves was probably the most one-sided. It was early to mid to late. It wasn't any kind of messing around within that. And they're going to be able to do that again if they're going to need to be able to do that again. Yeah. If they want to continue to end losses to the defending world champions.
Well, we'll see if they can. And on the other side, we want to hear from Faker. He's going to, before we get into picks and bans, tell us how he thinks LMS stands as a region.
LMS가 좀 저희 대회할 때마다 좀 많이 주목을 못 받는 느낌이 있는데 그래도 할 때마다 언제나 상위권 성적을 내는 지역이기 때문에 플래시오들도 이번 대회에서 좀 좋은 성적을 낼 수 있을까라는 궁금증이 있습니다.
A lot of questions from Faker, but we're going to just get right into the starting lineup. Let's take a look at the blue side of the rift. That is, of course, going to be the Flash Wolves from the LMS. That means in the top lane, we've got D, if you ask Officio, Karza in the jungle, Maple in mid, NL the AD carry, and Shoutout on support with their coach, Fluidwind.
Yeah, Steak is also their coach, but Fluidwind does the picks and bans for them there. And then on the other side is Korea's SKT, looking to break their 3-game MSI losing streak. Duke in the top lane, Blank in the jungle, Faker the mid laner, of course, Bang the AD carry, will support with Coach Koma, who's really going to have to work his coaching into this one, get them back on the right track, get them playing team competitions that can capitalize on their advantages, because they've been playing some SKT-like team comps, but they haven't actually been able to utilize them the way SKT does.
They really got to find that magic, and a lot of uncharacteristic mistakes coming out of a lot of the players, too. It is very, very unusual to see that. I did not expect to wake up and say, okay, SKT lost 3 games in a row, and now where do we go? We're going to have to find out as we get into picks and bans. Sivir taking off the board to start.
Yeah, and as we move into this pick and ban phase, we do have to focus a little bit on the jungle picks, because Blank has been one of the largest underperformers for SKT. Multiple mid-league games without large impact, and then in their loss today against COG, had a lot of poor plays on Kindred. And a lot of people are calling for him to be subbed out, because the substitute that SKT brought to MSI is Bengi, who was the world champion last year. But you have to keep in mind that Bengi was benched because he doesn't play the meta champions. In a team comp like this, though, where you see Kindred and Nidalee banned, might actually fit Bengi back in there, but that's reading way too much into it. They're going with Blank. They're going to try and turn it around.
It's a question going forward now. What does SKT ban for their next one? They did take the Nidalee away, so they're not even going to let themselves be lured into that particular trap. But what do they focus? It's the LeBlanc that's banned away. They don't want to deal with that match, but Maple's still got plenty that he can play.
Yeah, Maple's game flank is amazing. Zed was shut down, and at least they're trying to stop Flash Wolves from being able to play too aggressive. What Clement was saying on the desk was the Flash Wolves coach told them to be so aggressive against SKT. That was the way they were going to be able to get SKT. They took a lot of risks, they prioritized Dragon, and they were able to play well enough to shut them down.
For the Flash Wolves, they do ban away the top edge. The not always and not often seen support, but we do know Wolf is like to pick it up, and he was denying a lot of kills in the games that he's played on it. What is SKT ban for their last, though? It looks like it's going to be the Rise, so a lot of mid lane and a lot of jungle pinched.
Absolutely. It's kind of crazy to see SKT ban Rise when coming into the tournament it felt like Baker was just going to either pick Rise or pick Cassiopeia against the Rise, but the SKT aura definitely feels like it has diminished greatly when you see 2 mid lane bans coming from the team that has Faker, so that's a lot of respect being shown to Maple and shows a large pivot in the strategy for SKT.
Yeah, but do leave